Ski-U-Mah is a University of Minnesota slogan that has been around since the 1880s. The slogan has a long history and it has been used by the Minnesota team ever since its initial conception by the rugby coaches in 1884. The Minnesota football team has the slogan on their uniforms in addition to the symbols of an oar and compass on the helmet. This represents the "row the boat" culture that means to keep going no matter what. The origins of Ski-U-Mah. Ski-U-Mah is a catchy slogan that the Minnesota coaches came up with in 1884 to rhyme with "rah rah rah" and "Minnesota." It originally comes from the phrase sound, "ski-u," that Captain John Adams heard cried out by the native boys at Lake Dakota during rowing and other sporting competitions. He interpreted this phrase incorrectly, as what he thought was a native Dakota word for winning. When he was brainstorming a slogan for the sports team, he decided to use this sound. He added "mah" at the end in order for it to rhyme with the other three-syllable phrases as part of their team chant. Ever since then, this slogan has been used to cheer on all Minnesota sports teams and it has become a signature part of the university's sports history and culture. While the school's signature cheer has changed over the years, they have always kept "Ski-U-Mah" as a part of their tradition. John Adams can be accredited with the creation of this tradition as it was his experience with native life and how he remembered the native children and youths using "ski-u" as an exclamation of joy or victory during sporting events that led him to add it to the cheer. It all started with a canoe race. The traditional chant all started with a canoe and the Dakota tribe. The coaches at the time wanted to give their chant a particular Minnesota flair and did so by incorporating the phrase "ski-u," which they heard shouted by natives whenever a canoe crossed the finish line at the Minnesota Lake races. This also ties into one of the current University of Minnesota slogans, "row the boat." A coach came up with the slogan after his son passed away. It means to keep rowing on despite the challenges that you may face. Interesting facts. In addition to being a chant used during sporting events, there are also other uses of the phrase historically known around the University of Minnesota campus. In one example, Ski-U-Mah was the name of a speakeasy near the campus of the University of Minnesota during Prohibition times, where students would go to drink alcohol illegally after sporting events. There was a funny university magazine with "Ski-U-Mah" as the title. There was also a yearbook published with the same title. Because the sports team had a great deal of success and recognition during the time of Prohibition and the phrase was used for the name of the speakeasy, where the locals would meet after the games, this could be one reason why the name has historically held onto its significance and never fallen off in terms of use. It speaks to a time when the university's sports teams were the most successful in history. The definition of Ski-U-Mah. Captain John Adams in 1884 interpreted "ski-u" as meaning victory. This is because he heard natives shouting the phrase whenever a canoe went over the finish line in rowing competitions. Although this is how the captain interpreted what he heard, "ski-u" is, according to experts in the Dakota Native tribes, not a word used by the native Dakotas to mean victory. It is most likely just a sound made in excitement such as "woo-hoo," and does not have a true definition beyond that. The "mah" at the end of "ski-u" is only there so then it rhymes with the third syllable of the other third syllables in the cheer, namely "rah" and "ta." Even after multiple revisions of the cheer, Ski-U-Mah has always stayed the same. They did, however, change "ski-u" to "ski-u" when it was printed for the first time in 1885.